Alright, so this is the setup video for my UGREEN DXP4800 Plus. So, a little overview. First of all, I'm going to go over the hardware setup and then the initial setup of UGOS. And then I will be modifying the UGOS and the BIOS to allow third-party OS. Third-party OSs. And then I will be installing UNRAID and lastly configuring UNRAID. That's the whole overview of this video. Now, disclaimer, I am not an expert in any of these things. You know, my knowledge on NAS systems are very, very limited. And, you know, I only have some basic understanding thanks to my friend Kane, who taught me a lot of the fundamentals. Please let me know in the comments if I've made any mistakes or if you have any suggestions or tips. Now, on with the video. Right, so here is what I did last night. I did all the boring stuff before I recorded this video. So here's what I did. I changed my network DNS range to above 100, I think. So I am preserving my 1 through 100 ports, I think that's what that means, for the NAS only. So if I have any Docker containers that requires a port, and if they are within that range, 1 to 100, if they're a lower number, I know that is from the NAS. After that, I added the 2.5 gig switch I showed in my unboxing video that you can find right here, or this corner. I added that 2.5 gig switch to my network. Here's a little diagram of my home network. It's a little complicated, so here it is. Look at that if you want. Now, and then after that, I installed the 16 gigs of RAM and the 118 gig Optane M.2 drive onto the UGREEN. Now, the UGREEN comes with 8 gig. Well, this particular model I got comes with 8 gigs of RAM in there. So I just added 16 gigs for a total of 24 gigs, which I think is sufficient. So the gray pad thing that I was really confused about during my unboxing video turned out was, in fact, thermal pads for the M.2 drives. And here's a little clip of me installing that. Now, after installing those, I installed my two 16 terabyte Seagate Exos X24 HDDs in my main array, which leaves 2 of the 4 bays occupied. I will be doing something else with the other 2 at the moment, since I can't afford another 2 16 terabyte Seagate drives. So that's for another video. Now, after that, I created an UNRAID bootable USB drive. Now, notes on the UNRAID bootable. So, the Windows version of the UNRAID bootable creator program was not able to recognize my USB drive. It is a 64 gig USB 3.2 drive. Now, some forum users reported that only USB 2.0 drives that are 32 gigabytes and under will work, while other users reported that the Mac version of the bootable creator will recognize modern USB drives, which is what I ended up doing because the Windows version refused to recognize my little USB stick. So put it on the Mac, worked right away. So can confirm Mac version works with more modern drives. You know, it's kind of a pain to find a USB 2.0 thumb drive, you know, that's under 32 gigabytes. Everything is like 64 and up. And so nowadays, you know, but however, I understand that not everybody has both Mac and Windows systems. So if you have a Windows system, I don't have an answer for you. Good luck. On to today's tasks. Today I will be powering on and booting the UGREEN NAS for the very first time, and I'm going to set up the UGOS and, you know, poke around, see what it looks like. And then I will be modifying the UGOS and the BIOS to allow third-party OSs, because if you don't do that and you install a third-party OS straight up, there is a Watchdog program or something type of system that scans to see if the UGreen OS is running. If not, it reboots itself every 3 minutes, after 3 minutes, to check to make sure everything is running on the UGOS. And if you don't disable that feature, if you would call it, if you don't disable that, it'll just boot loop every 3 minutes trying to find UGOS. So that's the first thing we want to do before installing any third-party OS. After doing that, I will install UNRAID and configure the UNRAID for the very first time. Again, I'm doing this for the very first time, and I'm capturing it for everyone to see, so we are all learning. Power's plugged in. Now let's boot it up for the very first time. Ooh, cool. Ooh, I hear my hard drive spinning. Okay, so to set this up, I think I'm just going to use my iPad. I hope this works. I downloaded the UGreen app the other day. Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, cool. Where is the UGreen app? Networking. UGreen NAS. Alright, update it. Let's see if we are able to detect this. Device to your local network, start scanning. Aha, here we go. Popped up right away. Register. Tips for system updates, an important system control panel update, restore system update to update. Cool, I can start it. Accept user agreement. I'll just set the default device name for now, and I will set an admin account. Cool. Now that I've set an administrator account, please log in to UGreen Cloud account. I do not want a UGreen Cloud account. Skip. That's alright. I don't need that at the moment. Update. Yeah, whatever. I do not want to participate in device something. Okay, now we are configuring our UGOS. So I'm doing this on the iPad. Obviously, you can do this on your iPhone or your Android phone or even your computers, Mac and Windows machines. However, I just have the app on my iPad already, and I don't want to install it on my computer. Right, so after about 10 minutes, this process is done. So I am prompted to reboot, and it looks like it is rebooting the device. Alright, after about 2 minutes, it has rebooted. Welcome to UGreen OS. New device registration. Start scanning. It looks like I am redoing the first steps. Enter my account. Verifying username and password. Awesome. Cool. Cool. Let's I don't know what's going on here. Wait, what's going on? No. Hard disk. Okay, so we have 3 disks. It's recognizing my 2 Seagate drives and my Optane drive. Very cool. Storage. Let's create 1 volume. RAID 1. You know what? I don't want to do this yet. Quit. How do I go back? Ah, there we go. So we got some notifications, blah, blah, blah. That's all right. Okay, now that we are in here, what we need to do is to enable SSH access, which is access via terminal, which we are going to go to control panel, and then we are going to go to terminal device, and then we are going to enable SSH. Now it should be saved successfully. Very cool. Now I just need to find the IP address. Where do I find that? Is it in network settings? Aha, right here, default gateway 10.0.0.1. Here we go. Now we are in. I put in the wrong address. Now I'm going to sign in to with my credentials. What do you mean wrong account password? Okay, so the username is case sensitive, so remember that. Okay, yeah, cool. Now, I'm here, so I can close the iPad app because I don't need this anymore. I know I should just screen record this, but that's too much work. All right, our next steps after we've set this up is going to open our PC, go to a command prompt. Here we are, command prompt. Here you are going to type in SSH space your username at your username for your that you just set up for your NAS on the UGREEN OS. Username at the IP address of your NAS, which was 10.0.0.118. Now, once you enter, if it prompts you something saying if you want to continue connection, just type in yes, and then it will prompt you to enter your password. Again, the password that you set for your UGREEN profile, the one that we just set. Now, once you hit enter, now we are inside the UGREEN, I guess, command prompt. Now, what we're doing is we're going to disable the bootable, the SSD with the UGREEN OS on it. We're going to disable it so that every time we reboot it, it does not go straight into UGREEN OS. Yeah, we're not erasing it. We are just making it undetectable by the machine. So what we're going to do, and this is all thanks to this YouTube video right here. All credit goes to this YouTube video. I am just following what they are doing. So the first, you're going to type lsblk. Now we are prompted with a bunch of things. We have a bunch of nvme things. Oh yes, so this part is for you to look at the different partitions on your boot drive. So for example, right here we see that boot, right here, very first one, nvme1 n1p1 that's the partition with the /boot on it, and that's the one we are going to disable. Now, the next step we're going to do is to type in sudo space su, so sudo space su. Hit enter. Now it's going to prompt you for your password again. Type that in and hit enter. Now, the next step we are going to do is mkdir space /mnt /nvme underscore EFI and hit enter. Now we are going to do mount mount space /dev your the name for your NVMe drive for the boot partition. So in my particular case is nvme1 n1p1 partition 1 on my NVMe drive. Oh, I put EFT instead of EFI, so I'm going to redo that last command. Here we go. No errors. Now I'm going to type cd space /mnt /nvme underscore EFI. Cool. Next, I'm going to type ls. Enter. Now we will see boot and EFI. Those are the two kind of directories. What we want to do is we want to change the name from the EFI. Just just change the name so that it does not recognize it. So for this, we will need to do mv space all caps EFI space EFI underscore rename. Okay, so now to check again that we've successfully changed the name, you type in ls once again and hit enter. Now you should see boot and the EFI underscore rename that we just renamed. If you don't see that, repeat the last step until you've successfully renamed that EFI directory. So now all you need to do is to reboot. Now before I reboot, I'm going to plug in the keyboard and mouse. I'm going to find some keyboard and mouse to plug in, and we're going to continue to the next step. Alright, so I have a set of keyboard and mouse plugged in. So now on our PC command, we are going to reboot our UGREEN NAS. And it's rebooting right now, so I'm going to change my input to the HDMI, which will show, oh, here we go, we are booting up. Yes, we're posting. So it should kick you straight into a UEFI setup screen, which is what we are seeing right now. Awesome. Let's get a close-up on this. Cool, so this is our UEFI little BIOS setup screen, and I just realized that this keyboard right here does not have arrow keys. So I'm going to borrow my main keyboard. Aha, okay, cool. So here we are in this generic BIOS looking screen. So what we want to do is we want to navigate to the Advanced tab, which is the second tab, by clicking the right arrow on your keyboard. Now what you want to do is you want to go to your Watchdog settings, which is the fourth one from the top. Hit enter, go in, and for the Watchdog control, which should be the very first setting right here, hit enter, and we are going to disable Watchdog control. What this does is disable the system that reboots the NAS every 3 minutes if UGOS is not detected. So, for example, if you're running UNRAID or any third-party operating system on it, with the Watchdog sys settings still enabled, it will randomly, well, it won't randomly, it will basically reboot every 3 minutes because it's not detecting that the UGREEN OS is running. So it'll just reboot and keep trying to do that. So that's where people ran into boot looping issues. So with this disabled, we are now safe to install any third-party OS. Again, we are not erasing the UGOS because currently there is no way to download the UGOS if we, erase the boot drive that came with the hardware. So I would just recommend leaving it alone. Yes, it's 128 gigabytes, but that's negligible. So I would just leave it how it is, and we'll continue from here. So what you want to do now is, this is the bootable with the UNRAID bootable on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug this in the back, and then I'm going to hit F10 to save and reset the system. And hopefully it will, detect the bootable, and we will boot into, oh shit, what's going on? And it will boot into the UNRAID setup. So I don't know what just happened. Here we go. Oh, 3 minutes. That was 3 minutes? See? Okay. There we go. Watchdog settings enabled. That's what happens. 3 minutes elapsed and it did not detect UGOS running, so it restarted. I'm going to plug in my bootable. Okay, that's plugged in. Now I'm going to hit F10 to save and reset. F10, save configuration and reset. Theoretically, it should greet us with, right here on the top left. You cannot see this, but we are in the UNRAID thing. So, oh, what just happened? I didn't have a chance to select anything. Well, the first option was install UNRAID OS. So that's what I think that's what it's defaulting to. So now it's prompting me my server login. Login incorrect. What is the login? I don't remember creating a login, so do I just hit enter? So I'm going to try root. And for the password, hit enter. Okay, so I am root at server. So what do I do next? Okay, so theoretically, I think I can just switch back to my computer and have a little access to this. Ah, here we go. We are here in UNRAID. Awesome. Okay, so I stayed in the UGREEN for too long. Now we're here on UNRAID. So I'm going to create a password. Okay, set password. Here we go. Now we are in UGREEN. I mean, not UGREEN. We're in UNRAID, running off of the UGREEN. Super awesome. Here I'm going to put in my product key. And here we go. We have the plus key installed successfully. Cool. Oh, wrong button. Dashboard. So here we are in the UGOS. I mean, I keep saying UGOS. This is UNRAID. Alright, this should be very quick. I am just setting up my, assigning my drives for my UGREEN to UNRAID. So, you probably can't see this. I'm just going to describe it. UNRAID screen from dashboard, hit main on the top bar. I'm going to do one parity drive, which is going to be, I don't know which bay this is. Oh well, don't matter. Probably does matter. I don't know. Well, I'll just choose one of them for it to be my parity drive, and then one will be my actual storage drive. Okay, after setting up all of that, my main array, disk 1, one parity, one disk as XFS for the format, file system type, and my second pool with my Intel Optane as a ZFS, right here, ZFS file system type. Now I am going to start my array. Parity disk content will be overwritten. Proceed. Now it is restarting. Oh, it's doing stuff. Oh, cool. Okay, so parity is invalid. What does that mean? I need live tech support. It's doing stuff. I'm formatting it. Do I click format? Oh, it's formatting. Cool. Let's wait for it to format. Okay, so on the bottom here it says estimated finish 15 hours and 42 minutes. So I guess I'll end the video here, and I'll check in the next video where I will be, installing Dockers, just doing more UNRAID setup. I'll installing some Dockers such as A-List, setting up A-List, which is a file management system. And then a Jellyfin for my media stuff, and then game servers if I feel the need to do that. And then in another video I will be setting up a Cloudflare tunnel for public access when I am not at home. That way I can still access my server files. And then I will be migrating and organizing the files from my all my existing external drives. Going to be putting everything onto the array, and then I'm going to populate the other two bays on the NAS with my two other 2 terabyte Western Digital. They're really old drives. They're just in my PC. After I've moved the files from both of them, I will install it in here and then maybe make like a RAID 0 or just do some funky stuff with the two drives that are separate from the main array. And then after that, I will be, setting up a Jellyfin server that'll be its own video, and then maybe set up an audio streaming service on here so I can listen to my entire library, on the go. So, yep, that's about it. Hope this video was helpful. Again, I am not a professional. This is literally my first time doing this thing. So thank you, Kane, for teaching me everything and getting me to buy this stuff. Again, very cool. And yeah, if you have any suggestions, if I did anything wrong, if you have any tips, please don't hesitate to leave a comment below. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys next time.